Everybody, it's Levi with Modern Done Wright, and today I'm going to be showing you how I built this beautiful, modern, sleek, whatever you want to call it, nightstand. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope you guys all enjoy it. Alright guys, the first thing I did is I took a 3/4 thick piece of plywood and ripped two pieces at 10 inches wide. These pieces are what I'm going to use to make the outer shell of the nightstand. Now once I get my rip cuts done, I'm going to measure and do my cross cuts. I'll be sure to include the measurements down in the description. The next step is to drill pocket holes. I'm doing this to make sure the joints look seamless. One thing I do want to note is here I'm drilling pilot holes directly from the bottom. You're not going to be able to see this, but the joint is going to be really strong still. Now that I have all the pilot holes drilled, the next step is assembly. I do make sure to use wood glue to make the joints extra strong. Now that I have the outer edge assembled, I take 220 grit sandpaper and sand everything to clean it up. Once I finish sanding them, I go ahead and apply one coat of primer. Once the primer is dry, I go ahead and take Bondo to fill in any weird holes or voids. The reason I'm doing this is to ensure that the outside of the nightstand looks extra smooth. Now, once the Bondo dries, I'm going to go ahead and take 220 grit sandpaper, sand it all to clean it up, and then it's going to be ready for paint. Here you can see I'm using spray paint to apply the paint. I do that because it was easier and also applied a lot smoother. Now that the nightstand's all painted, the next step is to cut the pieces for the drawer. Again, I'm going to include all those measurements down in the description. Once all the pieces are cut, it's time for assembly. As you can see here, I'm using wood glue and a brad nailer to assemble it all. Now that the drawers are all assembled, the next step is to install the wood sliders. This is going to enable the drawer to slide in and out. I'm using wood because it was cheaper and it also was easier to install. Once I have the sliders installed, the next thing I do is I take the face of the drawer, glue it, then clamp it on. Now while that's drying, the next thing I'm going to do is take a simple 2x6 and cut it to spec for the legs of the nightstand. Now once I have these cut, the next step is drill the pilot holes, that way I can attach to the bottom of the nightstand. Now once that's done, the next step is to stain the face of the drawers and the legs of the nightstand. Now once I have the stain applied, I go ahead and use a water-based polyurethane to seal everything up. Now that the polyurethane is all dry, the next step is to install the legs. The final step to this is to install the hardware. I got this cool brass hardware off Amazon in a pack of 5. I will be sure to include that down in the description. Now, once I have the hardware installed, the build's done. So now it's time for the reveal. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching the video. It was a blast making. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be putting videos out hopefully every other week. That's the flow I'm trying to go with. So if you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you want to keep seeing my content, obviously subscribe and share that. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy it.